Timber on the brink of joining Arsenal Football Club. According to strong reports tonight, the deal is reported as imminent. And we're also talking about a major piece of breaking news. Manchester United drop their interest in Mason Mount. They have stated they will not bid above the final bid of 55 million. And now they focus on trying to sign Moises Caicedo after keeping a dialogue with him for the summer. The transfer window is alive, people. Hit the like and the share button. We're taking your calls tonight. No one else is giving you that chance. Let's go! Welcome back to the Football Terrace, people. What an interesting turn of events in the last 12 to 24 hours regarding Mason Mount. We're going to jump into that. I want everybody's takes. I want the like button hit first. I want everyone's thoughts. I want everybody's feelings on this news. Now, there's lots to speak about tonight because we're talking big news about Arsenal, and I'm sure lots of you are going to want to talk about the Rice deal as well tonight. We'll start with the Timber news. We have to start with that tonight. And I want to read this out here because this comes from a very credible journalist from Germany who has stated that Timber on the verge of joining Arsenal. Bayern Munich are not involved at this stage. The player wants to join Arsenal. The verbal agreement is done. Agreement accepted between 40 and 45 million for transfer fees and bonuses would be a good deal for all parties. That is what he has stated this afternoon, that the deal is close. The deal is verbally agreed. It's just about Arsenal submitting that official bid. But this is a little different from the Rice situation for Arsenal because this man just wants to join Arsenal and there's no other bidding party involved as of right now. So there isn't the necessity, there isn't the desperation creeping in to hurry this along. Arsenal will take their time. This weekend, Kai Havertz, that the medical's happening. Declan Rice is the pressing matter. They'll keep their ears to the ground with Timber. They may bid officially tonight. They may bid officially tomorrow, Monday morning. But there isn't a pressing need to go and get that done right this second because they're leading the race, because no one else is even at advanced negotiation stage with the player or with Ajax right now. Arsenal well out in front. As I've stated on many shows before, it's a brilliant piece of business. No shadow of a doubt, a brilliant piece of business for Arsenal as and when they get this over the line. It gives them such quality at centre-back, brilliant cover in the right-back roles. Can even, play that inverted role very, very well. Could even step into midfield on some occasions if the development is there. This is a highly talented 22-year-old with the world at his feet, with such a high ceiling. It is an impeccable piece of business for Arsenal. And if this story that you can see up on the screen right now is to be believed, if that story is to be thought of as, on its way to happening, then brilliant. Phenomenal. And as I've said already, a lot of Arsenal fans are kind of panicking about their window. There's a lot of frustration about their window. There's a lot of anger about their window. But it's been pretty damn good so far as I'm concerned. Let's see what happens with Declan Rice. We all know about that situation already, don't we? The ex-West Ham employee today has said that the player still wants Arsenal over Man City. Now, what could scupper Arsenal is taking too long to get a deal agreed with West Ham, or they never get a deal agreed with West Ham. Declan Rice is going to leave West Ham United this summer. He wants to play in the Champions League. He wants to be involved in title races. But there's something about it, according to sources at West Ham, and that's why I find him credible. It's not an Arsenal source doing a fluff piece, trying to make Arsenal fans feel better. It's coming from the West Ham side. They've probably got a bigger rivalry with Arsenal than they do City, geographically speaking. They've got no reason to blow smoke up Arsenal's backside and make it up. So that's on its way to potentially happening. Timber going to happen. I understand. Spent 65 million on Kai Havertz. Now I know not all Arsenal fans are overjoyed and they're not all buzzing and they're not all thinking to themselves, "Wow, this is it." This is the pinnacle of football. But as I've said, there's an intrigue about this deal that I'm really looking forward to seeing next year as a football fan. As a football fan. But look, this is a fantastic piece of business. We're going to take your calls on it. We've got young Sam, we've got Cameron, Canadian Cam coming on to have their say. I want your comments coming in as well. We are going to talk Moises Caicedo, Mason Mount, what has happened there. What a big risk. What a big risk Chelsea are taking. And there's so many moving parts to it. Just like the Declan Rice deal, there's so many moving parts. And I know that some of you follow really basic journalists and really basic content creators who talk in bullet points. We will not do that to you at the Football Terrace. We'll break it down to you in detail. It could go either way. These deals can go either way. That's the whole point. Rarely are they a foregone conclusion, basic, simple ABC 1, 2, 3. This is complicated business. This is big boy business. I was looking at the bid for the Declan Rice situation yesterday, the way I saw football fans talk about it. And I just thought, and I mean this with respect, I saw all the NVC, all the members of the NVC, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, you guys have never bought something that's expensive in your life. And you've never been involved in a multi-million pound business deal. That's why you are so basic when it comes down to your comprehension of how they work. And a very smart friend of mine, much smarter than me, makes me look like a moron, really. He said, you do realize, Terry, that if Arsenal went and bid 105, 110 million straight away, and City did want him, they would have just matched the bid. This notion that if we'd you're having a go at me, saying you're saying that Arsenal should have just gone out there and paid the asking price day one, but City were always going to bid, and they were always looking to match the bid. So it's like, I suppose we'd have just been here 2 weeks ago. It goes, the situation would have been exactly the same. So I'm like, that's a fair point. But we're going to get into the Mason Mount one a little bit later on the show and Caicedo. Stay with us. Hit the like and the share button. Make sure you're subscribing to us as well on this beautiful Saturday. As you can see, I'm a little bit, I won't call it sun-kissed. I'd call it burnt today because it's not because I'm white, because lots of white people go brown and tan in the sun. My skin don't like it. But you know what's really annoying about that? I love the heat. There's no place on earth I've ever been. I've been to some of the hottest countries in the world. Nowhere has ever been too hot for me where I'm like, I can't handle the heat. But my skin don't like the sunshine. Does that make sense? So, yeah, I was cooking barbecue, playing with the kids today. And right now I look like a swan vesta. I look like a swan vesta. But there we go. Super chat here says... Arsenal called everyone's bluff. Have to comment. They're negotiating. They didn't comply with any of the Sullivan's dirty tricks. Rivals jumped the gun. Man City knocked, and he still picked Arsenal. Big statement. Keep powder dry. Listen, you've got to get it over the line. But I'll say this about the Declan Rice thing. This is why I say to Arsenal fans, I say to Man United fans, to Chelsea fans, don't embrace bad news. Sometimes you've got to take your medicine on it when the bad news ends up being true. But when I saw Gooners have a go at me for saying, why are you sharing the City news? They haven't even bid yet. Why are you talking about Man United bidding? We're going to get him. Why are you pressed about that, bruv? Hold on to the news. Go, oh, great. 2 more teams coming in. Even bigger W for you if you pull it off. Even bigger W for you. So why be angry about it? Like last night, everyone going, Chelsea are schooling United. I don't think they're thinking that right now. Keep your powder dry. Love that statement at the end there, Ryan. Nathaniel here says, I believe Chelsea... Look, we're going to come back to the Chelsea one in a little bit. We'll do that in a few moments because I don't want to go off course too much on this. We're going to share the link for you guys to call in. Terry, don't come to South Africa. It is cold. I went to South Africa many, many years ago. I went to Sun City. I had a kickboxing tournament there. Very small one. Very, very good. Beautiful. Love the heat. We didn't go out anywhere. We were kept in I was only 14, 15. We were kept in a very confined area. But yeah, what I saw, what I witnessed, I liked it. Food good, heat good. Love it. Love the heat. It could never be too hot. In England, everyone goes, oh, it's too hot. Not me, bruv. Love it. Love it. Terry, okay. we'll come back. I'll save some of the things you're saying about the United and Mount situation. We're talking timber right now. I want to get your views and opinions on that, my friends. Build up those comments on here right now. I did get roasted today. I got proper roasted today, but it's all good. I don't mind. It's all gravy. I got this. I went and got from Banana Boat. When I got myself a little bit of aloe vera, rub that. It's good for your skin anyway. And I know a lot of white men don't do this, but you should be creaming and moisturizing the skin on a regs basis anyway, my brother. One, it keeps you looking youthful. Two, who wants dry, ashy skin? Think about it. Think about when you're laying down at night with your lady. Now, I know members of the NVC don't have that yet, but one day they may. When you're laying down at night, you don't want hands like you've been dragging them across the concrete, do you? You don't want knees that you could light a match on. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't want to stretch one day and your skin cracks because it's so dry. Cream up, moisturize. It's good for you. Trust me. Trust me. Luke here says PR briefs being briefing. Why has no one withdrawn reports on the Mount thing? Do you know what I have seen though on the Mason Mount thing? I know is that Nathan Gissin is now saying Mount's preference was to remain at Chelsea, but he felt he was being forced out. That wasn't the story a day ago. It was that he wants to leave anyway, and he accepted a smaller contract at Man United. PRB PRing. I hear you, my friend. It's coming. It's absolutely coming. We don't know about lotion, Bill Burr. We heard it, Terry. There we go. Imagining value. Okay, cool. I don't know what that's all about there. Let's move on to the Man United news, and then we'll start taking calls. So, as you all know, Manchester United wanted Mason Mount. A £55 million bid was placed yesterday. That's 50 million plus 5, and it was rejected by Chelsea. What Manchester United have essentially said to them today, and I'm going to paraphrase now rather than running through every single element of the deal. They have said the £55 million offer will remain on the table, but we are walking away from negotiations. So don't ever just read tweets, find the story, read the article. They haven't walked away from the deal 110%. You'll see on my title, when it says, is it off? There's a question mark as opposed to confirmation. And that's because Man United are still up for signing Mason Mount. They are leaving that offer on the table. There is a possibility that deal gets done. That exists as things stand right now. At the same time, what Manchester United are doing is they are switching their attention to Moises Caicedo, who is also Chelsea's #1 summer target. Man United, as we know, is confirmed tonight again by the Times that Man United have been talking to Caicedo the majority of the summer. Fabrizio has said this on 3 or 4 updates. Man United monitoring, talking, but haven't advanced yet. But Man United will now get heavily involved in the Moises Caicedo deal. Now, it will be more expensive, but listen, this is what will happen. And I know some of you in the comments are doing it now without me even reading them. Yeah, but if you haven't got more than 55 million for Mount, how can you get Moises Caicedo for 80 plus million? Well, I'm going to say this to you now. There's no guarantee that you don't sign your #1 targets first always. You do it in a different order. Man United wanted to go back and read Man United's original articles. Forget what rivals are saying now. Man United wanted to get 2 good but relatively cheap signings done before pre-season. And they were looking at Kim and Mount. And now they've kind of moved on away from Kim because he's been taken by Bayern Munich. And they're looking at a goalkeeper for that 50-odd million pound mark. And they're looking at Mason Mount for anywhere between 45 to 60 million. They're not able to do that. So what are Man United going to do? They're going to put their eggs into a basket for one of their bigger targets that was going to come later in the window once we had sold more players. Our briefs all summer have said there'll be a bit to spend at the beginning, and when players are sold, we will spend more. But because this deal isn't happening at the price we want, we're not going to eat in further into that budget, and we're going to look to go and get one of our primary targets now. Will Man United sign Moises Caicedo? Time will tell, but we've got a fantastic chance. Chelsea are the front runners. The player is up for joining Chelsea. I'm not going to go back on that. I've been praising Chelsea for looking at this business, doing this business. But I'm also not deluded. I also am not stupid to think no chance that Manchester United get him. Now, you may believe Chelsea will still do it, but Chelsea getting Moises Caicedo doesn't mean Man United have no chance. They are not one of the same conversation. But this is where this situation becomes very, very interesting indeed. Man United are leaving the Mason Mount situation on the table. They know United are going. Chelsea now know that United are going for Caicedo. There could be an element here of calling Chelsea's bluff. Damn. Especially if news comes out in the next little while that Moises Caicedo starts to prefer the move to Man United. Chelsea know United haven't got the money for both players now, but they've got money for one. But if we go and take away your number one target in Moises Caicedo, there's an if here, if we do that, and then we sell players later on in the window, we can always come back for Mason Mount. We can always come back for him. He wants to, I don't believe that his preference was to remain at Chelsea. I don't believe it. Because the deal that they reported he signed with us, some have said the same, some have said slightly cheaper than what it was offered by Chelsea anyway. However, we will see how this pans out in the coming days. But it's a very, very interesting situation indeed. It really, really is. Another spanner in the works. This time Thursday night, the Fabrizios of this world were talking about everybody's confident that Mason Mount happens. The player, United, Chelsea. There's optimism of the deal. It looked as though it was going to become a done deal on Friday. Less than 48 hours later, United are now going for Caicedo, which has been mooted in a few reports for the last couple of days. They're dropping their interest in Mason Mount in terms of negotiating for him. They'll leave the 55 million on the table. Now we really see what Mason Mount wants. Does he really want? Is he going to push harder for that move now? Does he really want out? Or is he just going to say, I love being at Chelsea, get back down to work? But what about the Chelsea fans who have shown their bum-bums and ripped into him? How does he come back to a team like that and play for a year? Do Chelsea let him leave for free in a year's time? There's so many outcomes, connotations here. It is amazing. For me personally, it's an absolutely amazing situation to watch. I love the transfer window. For me, it's ring-fenced from the season for me. I absolutely love the way it works. There's very rarely a basic deal. There's always many trials, tribulations, ups and downs. It's a thing of beauty. It really, really, you just got to learn to embrace it and enjoy it. And just remember this, by the way, this is something that Caicedo said in 2001. He said that speaking in the summer, Caicedo said, my dream is to play for Man United. Valencia is an example to follow. With his strength and dedication, he was able to get to that level. That motivates me to keep working every day. He has stated publicly before his dream is to play for Man United. That doesn't mean 100% we take him from Chelsea. No Man United fan should believe that because that is delusion. But it's a factor. We have a proven manager. We are in the Champions League. We are on the precipice, the edge of brand new owners. And I would say right now we're ahead of Chelsea. You could even sit down with Caicedo and go, yo, look, Chelsea Player of the Year wants to join us over time with them. That maybe tells you a little something. However, Man United fans, do not sleep on Chelsea. I've said it all the time. They are no shrinking violet. They're not skulking off into the darkness. Todd Boehly can be a madman. Todd Boehly can be a madman in the window. But if I said 2001, I meant 2021. I'm very, very sorry. 2021, he said it. 2021. That was a slip of the tongue. Ignore it. You kind of knew what I meant. Sometimes you guys focus on minute information that's irrelevant. And for me, Darren here says, clutching at straws, maybe Terry. What straws am I clutching at? There's none here. That's what I believe. If you think I'm wrong, tell me why I'm wrong, Darren, mate. I respect you as a member, but I don't believe I'm wrong. Man United, if we go for Moises Caicedo, have a genuine chance of getting him ahead of Chelsea. There is no doubt about it. Doesn't mean we will 100%. Doesn't mean we will 100%. I'm not polarized. But Chelsea are now under pressure. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. Absolute pressure. And Mr. Knight, if you think it's pure waffle and you want to come put some maple syrup on it, come on. And if you can debunk me in terms of everything I've just said, I will donate £500 tonight to a charity of your choice. I'm going to share the link now. Come and debunk what I've said. Again, I've said nothing negative about Chelsea, nothing horrible about Chelsea. I haven't said they've got no chance. We'll blow them out the water. But there's a genuine chance Man United could take him away from Chelsea now. But there we go. Justin, same for you. You want to come on and challenge me? You've got to show your face on camera, though. We'll have this debate. We'll have this conversation, my friend. If not, then I'll just leave you for writing the word waffle, which probably just means damn Terry's right, and I hate that he's right. That's normally what it means. Super chats here. Let's go through these people. First one says they said Caicedo, more like Rice say no, is what London is Blue says. We don't even have to get Caicedo. I just don't want Mount. Get better with to challenge City. We haven't even touched on that. If Man United get Caicedo and not Mason Mount, I'm happier. Like, I was getting my head around the idea of Mount. Okay, I'm trusting my manager. When it comes to Caicedo, I am buzzing. Is it possible both clubs are doing a good job of not compromising on their values for Mount, especially if Mount allegedly prefers to stay? Yes. And if he does really want to stay, then maybe this is music to his ears. It forces the situation and he remains. Both are doing well at not yielding on their principles. But if Man United go on off and get as good a targets, or in some people's eyes, better targets, if this ends up, again, this can go so many ways. And I said this about the Arsenal situation with Mason Mount. So there's my credibility in terms of not being a hypocrite. If Man United end up signing Caicedo, then they've not yielded Chelsea on their values, but they've compromised on improving their squad how they wanted. Man United are probably the ones in this circumstance who have put themselves in the most difficult position in terms of the Mount deal in isolation. Because if we now go in and bid higher, we've really made ourselves look stupid after saying we're leaving it on the table, but we're going to walk off and sign somebody else. We then go back for Mount in a month and go, there's 65. They look crazy. If Chelsea phone Man United tonight and say, listen, you can have him for 50. Do you know what I would do if I was Man United, though? You can have him for 55. You go, 50. You try and push the price down even lower again. So, and that will all depend from United's point of view around how they move on with the Caicedo situation. You should all go and watch the film Draft Day with Kevin Costner. Now, it isn't based on football transfers. It's based on Draft Day in the States. But just look just go watch that movie. And it's loosely based on some true stories within the NFL. And look how things change over the course of a day. I am adamant that this goes on in football. In fact, there's a book here called Done Deal that I read. I read these kind of things have happened in football. Timber is a great deal of business. We just need to get Rice, the Rice cooked. Caicedo up for grabs, and fans need to understand that plus United have got Champions League football, 110%. Man United have got a great chance of getting him, my bro. Is it true that Declan Rice prefers Arsenal? That has been reported by someone I speak to privately. He's called the ex-West Ham employee. Highly credible, highly respected. No hyperbole, no polarization, no gamesmanship. A solid source at West Ham has claimed it. So, and I trust him. However, remember though, it can still change. And I know I see a lot of journalists online get cooked all the time now when they say something on Monday and 6 weeks later, the player changes his mind and they go, that journalist was wrong. That journalist wasn't wrong at the time. It's an ever-moving, ever-changing situation. It isn't ABC basic linear. It never has been, never will be. Never has been, never will be. You need to challenge the Gunners on Rice. He said we weren't getting him. Oh, Lee Gunner on Rice. Said we weren't getting him before the window. And then he said if City come in, Arsenal have no chance. Listen, if Lee ends up being wrong, you know I'm going to cook him, bruv. You know Lee will be getting sliced, diced, marinated, barbecued, eaten up, shat out, live on screen. You know it's going to happen, G. Be like most shows. You know I'm only messing there and joking. If United are serious, pivot to Caicedo, sign him, and then sign Mount to a pre-contract so he's our player next summer. That's how big ruthless clubs move. Now, look, Chelsea fans are not going to like me saying this because they're going to I think I'm being biased. If Man United were still run how we were pre-Fergie leaving, we'd do this move now, as in this public move. We'd get Mount at 55 million. And then we go and sign Caicedo anyway. That would be a move, a deal, a situation for the ages. But my fear is that we've been so badly run for so long, we'll end up missing out on Caicedo and then overpaying for Mason Mount. That's how we've been run for a decade. And that's what I mean by this can go any which way. This whole scenario. One club can come out smelling of roses, looking amazing, red panty night. The other one could be in the gulag. I believe Chelsea are going to sign Caicedo because Brighton are going to get what they want, a bidding war. So I think who puts the most money down will get him. And Chelsea have shown that spending money is not an issue. Nathaniel, you make a great point there, my friend. Long-time viewer of the Terrace, and I respect you. You're absolutely spot on. That could happen. Unless the player says, I'm not joining Chelsea, I only want to join Man United. That's the one thing that Arsenal don't have 100% in their advantage. He prefers Arsenal, but wouldn't not join City. Does that make sense? But the only way it reads City get him is if they outspend Arsenal. Again, if Caicedo's like, I'll join either, whoever bids the most I'll go to, United are done because I think you guys have more money. But if he says, I just don't want to join Chelsea now, I want to play for Man United, it changes the scenario for both Chelsea and Brighton. And that's what I mean, Nathaniel. There's so many outcomes, which is why reading multiple reports from multiple journalists in full is imperative, and not just reading Twitter bulletins. It really is. But great super chat. Thank you very much, my friend. I really do appreciate the donation to the Football Terrace tonight. Arsenal called everyone's bluff. Have to commend their negotiating to comply with Sullivan's dirty tricks. Yeah, they've done a very, very good deal. Sorry, we've done that one from Ryan. Yeah, they're doing very well so far. Terry, mate, we are not sponsored. We are not sponsored for Todd to give him cash for Caicedo whilst getting mugged for Mount. Lol. Listen, I understand where you're coming from. And let's see what happens with this situation. But a can of worms has been opened tonight on these deals. There's no doubt about it in any which way, shape, or form. Any news on Harry Kane to United? Absolutely none. We know that there were some reports on Tuesday after the England game that he wants to join United. He still wants to leave Tottenham. However, I'm going to say this, Luke, and this is just my theory based on no journalist has said anything to me, no private conversations. I have a feeling the Harry Kane deal, as in him leaving Tottenham, may very well rear its head later in this window. Again, clubs say they're walking away, lost interest, moving on. Often that can be a tactic. So I'm very intrigued to see what direction this deal goes in the coming days and weeks. Viewers, keep hitting like buttons for us. Remember the breaking headline news tonight that Arsenal have reportedly got a verbal agreement with Urian Timber. The official bid is on its way, 40 to 45 million pounds, but he is on the verge. There is an imminent arrival here. According to the highly credible source you can see on our screen right now. And Manchester United drop their interest in Mason Mount and switch it to Moises Caicedo. They leave their last offer on the table, but they've dropped negotiations. They're no longer negotiating. They are not going to increase their bid any further, according to the Times, Nathan Gessin, and a number of other journalists, and there may be even more that have published it now since we have gone live. But nothing yet from Fabrizio and nothing yet from Ornstein. They could be having some time off, although Fabrizio tweeted 27 minutes ago, so probably not. So that's also something to consider, that they haven't entered the conversation on this matter as of now. That's, I think you mean Brendan has got 10 siblings. He's after the dough. Oh, that brethren. I thought you meant Brendan. I got it in there. That brethren has got 10 siblings. He's after the dough. He said it himself in January. He'll play for whoever pays the most, better deal for him. And again, wages-wise, Man United might be able to afford that, especially if with big wages leaving the club later in the window. Also, Man United, if the board suddenly get told Monday, listen, it won't go public for a while, but the Qataris are coming in, they'll start spending more now. So there's so many scenarios that could happen here That's why I don't like this notion of United are broke, they can't buy anyone. You've been telling us we're broke for 2 summers and we keep spending loads of money. Equally, I'm not writing Chelsea off. It's going to be an amazing battle now. It's already an amazing battle. It's just going to get better. Canadian Cam and Sam are about to join me now to talk about these 2 transfers. The link is in our live comment section if you want to tune in tonight. So please feel free to. Let's do this, people. Hit the like and share button. I'm just looking for my... Here it is. Let's go. Welcome to the show, gents. Really big night for both clubs. Really big breaking news. I want to go to Sam first about Uri and Timber, because we know there's a lot going on with Rice, but your thoughts on this deal and the fact that it's now being reported as imminent and on the verge of completion.
Listen, Terry, I think in this day and age, getting a player from around 35 to 40 million pounds, a young centre back at 22 years of age, I was the Ajax Player of the Year a couple of years ago, is a steal. And the thing is, Arsenal fans have not been talking about this deal at all in the past couple of days because their focus has been solely on Rice. That we've completely forgotten about the Kai Havertz deal, and maybe some Arsenal fans want to forget about that. But the Uri and Timber deal has been barely mentioned on Arsenal Twitter because their focus has been on Rice. Oh, this that is going to get rejected. But forget about Rice for a moment. This right here, Terry, is one of the steals of the window. One of the steals of the window. It came absolutely out of nowhere. If you came to an Arsenal fan a month ago and saying, "Oh, would you think the Mick Cartel or Arsenal will want Uri and Timber?" They say no chance. We're probably going to get a midfielder and a winger. So it shows that Arsenal fans don't have no clue about our transfer policy. We have no clue what's going on behind the scenes, and we've got to accept what Edu and Arteta are doing behind the scenes. And for me, Terry, this is what we need, because the last 2 seasons, not signing a backup defender to cover right back, centre back roles has cost us. It cost us 2 years ago when we didn't get top 4, where I think Ben White got injured, Tomiyasu got injured, and Spurs slipped off the top 4. And then last season again, Saliba got injured, Tomiyasu got injured, and we didn't have a cover. So every year, what I say about Mukata, he's learning a lesson every year. And this year, he's seen what's happened in the last 2 years, and he wants to resolve that issue right here, right now.
Yeah, listen, I think it's a good piece of business. Man United wanted him last year. I wanted him still this year. So, yeah, look, it's a very, very good piece of business for Arsenal. There's no doubt about it. Cam, on the other side of things, Man United tonight, leaving the Mount deal where it is, saying, look, 55 million, take it or leave it, but we'll leave it open. Now looking at Caicedo, talk to me.
It's great. It says a lot of things about where the club's going right now. I mean, and from different factors. Knowing he's clearly a player that the manager wants, like that's clear. A lot of the times in the past, either the manager or the board, they've caved. They've just been like, well, we're going to spend what we need to get the manager. In this situation, it gives me the vibes that even Eric Ten Hag's looking at it being like, well, no, if they're going to try and bully us, don't worry about it. I'll be good. Let's find somebody else. I don't think we're going to get Caicedo. I'll just say that right now. I love the fact that we put it out in the ether saying, all right, Chelsea, we'll go for him now and we'll see what happens there. Because I do think Chelsea's probably further down the line. Now, if we do get Caicedo, that's amazing. That's if it turns out that Chelsea overplayed their hand, if Todd B decided to these whole rumors about United's known to cave, where it's like, Chelsea, so are you. Like, let's be honest, like all of the top 6 clubs at some point have been known, other than City, have been known to cave on the prices that are put in front of them. This isn't like a United only thing. So if we pull this off, like there's a crazy world where spending the 80 or 90 million on Caicedo is the right move if you know next year you're going to land Kane for free. If you know next year you can get Mount for free. We might be actually acting like a smart club for the first time in years. This could be not just for this year, but moving forward, sending a message to clubs like, listen, we're not going to be taken in the market anymore. We'll offer fair prices, which we did. Let's be completely honest. 55 million for Mount was a bit of an overpay, just a bit, not a lot, but it's a bit of an overpay. So we gave a fair offer. If you're going to try and take us for our money, we'll say, cool, we'll move on. There's other players out there. And like I said, if you have to spend that money that you had saved for Kane on a player who has a 90% short and mid pass percentage, that's what we need desperately. Go get him, because he's going to make us.
I want to say this, Cam, right? I had Jamie Jackson on the Terrace maybe about 5-6 weeks ago. It could be even longer. And he said if Man United can't get Kane early for a good price, the money they're willing to pay for him, and he said 80 to 90, they will pump that into a midfield target. Now, some will say, well, why don't we just try and get Caicedo and Mount at the same time? And I think that's because there is a limited budget until we sell people or until the takeover happens. So Man United have realized, maybe we can get 2 players in that we want for pre-season. That's better than just one, and we can come back later for other people. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes fully. Northcroft has said here in his report that Brighton believe Moyes' valuation is around 80 million, considerably more than the 58 plus 7 Chelsea wanted for Mount. But Man United are prepared to take into account his younger age and radically different contract situation. And I think that's what's significant here. I think any Man United will, if Man United are looking at Moises Caicedo still, they know they have to spend about 80 million plus. They're not going to walk in and go, well, we're offering you 55 million. Will you accept it? They know what they've got to spend. So yeah, listen, it's going to be very intriguing. How do you see this panning out?
Honestly, I do think at the end of the day, this is why I think we won't get Caicedo, because I think at the end of the day, Chelsea is going to cave. It's not, again, I don't even think it's caving. They're going to get a better offer than we would have probably started. But you're right, it was always reported we were willing to go in and around 60, 55 million. Clearly, where we're dropping, where we're saying we're done. I can see Chelsea being like, fine, take it, because when you have a player like Mount who's come out, which I like, this is more players need to do this. He made it clear as soon as United got involved. He's like, well, that's where I want to go. That's it. That's where I want to go. So take the offer or I'm gone for free. Like, people ignoring that these are his words. His agent briefed media.
What's the chances that the Rice deal falls through and we go in for Caicedo? Because I think that's a possibility as well.
I don't think there's any chance. Like, I'm not one of those people. Listen, I don't banter just to banter. I read things. I educated, and Rice has made it very clear where he wants to go. I think it's just up for you guys to just figure it out, put the money on the table. I even think the fact that City's come in, put it this way, the fact that City's come in and still don't have him means he wants to go to Arsenal. Straight up. Like, City doesn't play around. Remember last year when they switched from Kane to Jack Grealish? That was like a week. It took boom. So they don't play. So I think Rice 100% is going to Arsenal. I think everybody just needs to chill. $100 million deal is not a quick, like Terry said it earlier. It is not. Oh, by the way, Terry, what's an NVC? Because I watch like basically all the shows, and I still don't know what that means. I must have missed the definition.
No, mate, I totally.
What is an NVC? What's the?
I'm not stating publicly what the NVC is. I'm not going to say publicly what it is.
Shoot me a message.
It's just up to viewers whether they believe they're part of it. I don't think you're part of the NVC. I think Sam might be, but we'll talk about that privately. Look, I look at this. There's a comment that came through here that said Terry, but Jamie Jackson didn't say that you would go for a midfielder. No, he did. He said they could take that money for Harry. Yeah, you watched the show. They literally said he could go from a player like Kane, but then look at another priority position. I don't understand why rival fans have been fooled again. And I think it's because the desperation to banter Man United is so high. That the dopamine release, the buzz they get. 3 summers running, it's been quoted we've only got 100 million odd to spend. And we've always spent more. They've only got 75 to 100 million. They're in trouble. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's nonsense.
Remember, Newcastle only had 75 million.
Yeah, and they just chopped 70 million on one guy.
70 million.
The maddest bit is, Man United fans, we've all forgotten something. We spent 3 years with our CEO telling the world we could do things in the transfer market nobody else could because we got so much money, which meant we started getting overpriced and overpaying for people. There's a reason that we say we're broke now. No one really believes it either. It's like we go from one extreme to the other. Oh, did you remember as well when our guy last year, Arnold, sat down with those United fans and got secretly filmed and he said how much money we could spend? They spent lots of it. Now, we got to the January and there wasn't more to spend, but we spent there is money to spend this summer as far as I'm aware, but we do need to sell people first because the wage bill are often significantly higher than the transfers bill. The wage bill is more important from an accounting point of view for the clubs often than the transfer fees because of the bonuses attached. And if you then go and have a really good year, say we go and have a really good year and win some more trophies, but you've still got De Gea's and Maguire's in the squad, they've probably got huge bonuses owing to them, even if they're not playing, which costs you tens of millions of pounds, which is, it's long-winded, but that's how it works. Ches and David are joining us now on the show as well. How's it going, gents? We've got a couple of super chats I want to do first. First one says, Onana, what a save. Onana, Onana, what a save. Onana, that's his name. Big up panel. Smash the like button. Thank you, Rick. And listen, we get Caicedo and a little bit of Onana. I'm just saying, City, we're coming. We're coming, City. I have a sneaky feeling Man United have already been taken over and are playing their cards close to their chest. Let's get Caicedo and Mount. Well, we know they haven't officially been taken over because you can't keep that close to your chest because Man United are on the stock market. However, you could get word through to say we're going to accept the bid of the Qataris. So Man United can start acting in a different way in the market. But I would rather us keep that close to our chest, pretend we're broke, haggle. Even if we're owned by the Qataris, I still don't want to overpay for people. City don't overpay for anyone. Like, I don't want to go, look, there's a 50 million pound player. There's 100 million for him. That's dumb. And the Qataris wouldn't do that anyway. So, yeah, I hear where you're coming from, bro. Can see City going for Moises if Rice goes Arsenal. I can see that too. I ain't lying to you. I can see that. I want to speak to the Chelsea boys tonight. David, we haven't spoken in a while, mate. A lot of excitement last night from Chelsea fans online saying we're screwing United over. They're going to cave in for us. Now we're going for your number one target and maybe walking away from Mount. The Mount PR machine is out again saying that actually you always want to stay at Chelsea. What do you make of this situation, bro?
If he wants to go, let him go. I'm not too fussed about it, to be honest. I actually think he'd be quite good at United. I actually think he suits you quite well. But for how much was it? 55 mil? If he doesn't want to sign the contract, let him go. You don't want to get rid of him for free. I'd rather let him go and reinvest in the squad, get another creator, and then keep an extra 10 mil, invest it in another's position. I think that's the smartest thing to do. If he wants to stay and he signs a new contract, then I mean, fine, I guess. But at this current point, I'd sell him, take the money, and reinvest. But that's just me. Again, I want Caicedo just because I think we need a defensive midfielder, and he helps us in that department quite a lot. But I would like another one as well. So yeah, I mean, the chance winner for us so far has gone very well. We got rid of a lot of deadwood, and that's been very key. Obviously, the Havertz still looks like it's going through as well. So that's, financially that's good for us as well. So I think once we clear up quite a lot of the sales, then you'll see Chelsea switch and start signing more players. Because ultimately, this window, we've had to get rid of more players than we have to bring in. So it's to be expected that we are a selling club more than we are buying this year. So yeah.
It's interesting. I've got a message here from a journalist who said, as you're talking, who says that the Mount thing is Man United biting back at Chelsea. They haven't withdrawn their offer, which I've said on the show already, and they know Caicedo is going to be tough to land. It is all partly a game, which I think we've all alluded to on the show. It's definitely posturing from both sides. He says you can't walk away when leaving your offer on the table, and I think that's why I've been very specific when I've said in the video that the offer, it's not walking away from the deal, it's walking away right now from negotiations. That there is a fundamental difference between those two things. But I'm going to go back to him now and ask him a few more questions. But yeah, that's an interesting one indeed. What's your thoughts on it, Ches, mate?
Yeah, similar to what you just said there. I think it's all a bit of a spin. So you've got Man United basically firing back because apparently we've been leaking information about rejected bids, and that doesn't look good from their side. And now you've got them fighting back to like Caicedo and kind of riling up the rival fans, they're going to go in for him. It's all a bit of a ploy, in my opinion. I think it's a bit too soon to make any concrete assumptions of what's going to happen. I think the main thing for Chelsea is, like David said, dittoing what he said, just getting rid of the players like Havertz and Kovacic officially. I know they're done, but officially getting off the books. And then just landing those one or two gems. Not going all out for too many players and kind of making some mistakes. So I'm happy with the approach so far. But as Mount saga, I don't really want him to be here, to be honest. I know David's in the middle as a Chelsea fan. I'd prefer him to leave. I think he's run his story. I think the story's over. I couldn't care less if he goes Man United and bangs. At the end of the day, it's about my club doing better. I don't really think he can bring much to the system going forward. He's a weird position in our team. So let's just see how it plays out. I wouldn't panic too much as a Chelsea fan over Moises Caicedo. I think we will land him eventually. Whether we get into a war or not is a different situation. But I would say just definitely keep a keen eye on that because it's not guaranteed it's going to be easy, but be interested to see if Man United are actually all bark and no bite and actually go in for him. Though. Very interesting to see. Very interesting.
Yeah, but again, I think both Man United and Chelsea could come out of this looking good. They can both. One of them could definitely come out of this stinking up the place. Do you know what I'm saying? Stinking up the place.
Yeah, we can't go. I think after this, we can't go like.
Well, we can't go back. we can't go back and get him for any more than we bid now. Like we can't. Like we can't do it. It's crazy. And equally, like Chelsea, if you end up caving and or don't get in Caicedo, it's like if we just let Man United take this guy, we'd have had the money to get Caicedo. Do you know what I mean? It's so interesting. It's literally, and again, people love their clubs. They're going to see it from their perspective. We're going to add Ziad and Winter Surfer to the call now as well. Welcome, gents. Welcome, gents. Ziad, they've been waiting a while. What's your take on this scenario tonight, mate?
Not really concerned. Not really. I don't think United are for us in terms of getting Caicedo. Reese has reported many times that he said yes to us verbally. We feel confident. We're willing to pay the price tag to Brighton as long as they don't play silly games. And with the Mount deal, to be fair, I'm going to respect all journalists out there. I'm not saying it's 100% false what they're saying, but the news has been out for almost over an hour now. And I'm surprised a number one, tier one source, if you like, hasn't said it and repeated what they've said and actually confirmed the information. So I still think United will go back in for Mount. Whether it's the deal we rejected, whether it's a bit higher, I'm not too bothered. I think he should be gone. It's too much to saga right now in terms of even internally with the fan base at Chelsea. It's too many things that some fans think he's Cruyff, he's best thing since sliced bread. You got the other side that think he's a good player, but he's just not that good for us to be going crazy about. I've said many times, even when he was playing at his best for Chelsea under Lampard's first season, Tuchel, I would have taken 60 million for him, taken 65 million, whatever it is. But bear in mind, 1 year left on his contract. 50, 55 million, put on add-ons if you like. I'm taking it. But as of now, I'm not concerned with Man United getting Caicedo. I think we're front runners for that, and I still think United will end up with Mount, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah. How about yourself, Winter Surfer? You agree?
Yeah, I agree. I just think it's like you say. I think everything's agreed on still, apart from the price. I think they wanted United to hit 50 or more, and they've tried. They've been a bit cheeky and tried. Okay, you've got to 50 plus 55, just another little bit. But I think they'll need to consider this. All this now coming out that he wanted to stay for me is rubbish. He wanted to stay. He wants to stay. You got a player who wants to go. I think Cam said it earlier. He leaves on a free next year, right? He is pure profit for Chelsea in terms of financial fair play and other things like that. I think it gets done, whether you think it's whether fans think it's caving in or not. It doesn't matter. You've got a player who doesn't want to play for your club, get him out as quickly as possible, whatever the price is. So I think it will eventually get done. I think it's all a game, as we know. We tried to pull the punt card. Man United have stood firm a bit. Now it's their turn to lay the punt card down. If Chelsea accept it, I'll be fine. Chelsea accept it and go, yep, that's it. We're going to send 50 million plus 5. That's fine. It's a good price for me for Mount in his final year of his contract. I have no issues with it. With the Caicedo thing, listen, for me, with Caicedo, I don't think it's about Champions League football. I think it's purely who's going to pay him more, and I'm fine with that. And I want Chelsea fans to remember about all this about, stand firm on the Mount thing when Brighton do the same thing with us with Caicedo. I want them to remember this because I don't want to see, oh man, they should just accept the 70 million plus 5 add-ons. You just remember that, yeah? Just remember that. That's all. We're going to see a lot of complaining about that. Why doesn't Brighton just accept this price? Bro, you want the player?
Yeah, we do.
You know what, Andrew? Yeah, that does show that our team is a lot better at dealing with these kind of transfers now. Because we're comparing our negotiations to Brighton, they're renowned for being very top heavy, very adamant on the prices they get. So overall, I think our transfers window has actually been better than last season, much better than last season. So
in terms of outgoing, but we're only really basing it on outgoings at the moment because you can't really count Gusto, and Gusto was a January signing. We all knew, and Kuko was the open secret he was going to sign for Chelsea. So You're right. Outgoings wise, it's fine, but ingoing wise, I keep saying it's such a short pre-season. You want your new manager to have whatever he wants nearly right away, so he can work on things because we kick off.
Yeah, but let's be realistic. In 4 weeks, he's not going to get in
I understand,
every single.
But you want to give him the best possible start to do what.
Realistically, for you, put this into like actual tangible things. What would be like a realistic amount of players to buy, considering the amount of outgoings we've got?
I only think. Listen, my thing is, I think
pre-season.
I think we only needed. Well, overall, I think we only needed 4. I think we needed a goalkeeper, and 2 midfielders, and a possible striker. Whatever you say about Nkuku, whether we can play that or not, I'm not.
You know what's really interesting? You know what's interesting for me on the Mount thing, and I get what you're saying about where you're negotiating deals. This is what I think will happen. I think Man United might now get him for the 55 million.
Yeah.
But what will be reported as the change is the structure. It'll be the structure. The structure is what will be the kind of the compromise for Man United if we get him. If we don't and we end up paying more than this, and we don't go for Caicedo, this whole play has been a madness. Because for me, this is a 100% briefing from Man United. I think the whole final bid thing, I don't even know if that was Man United. I think this is Man United kind of clapping back to a lot of the story that's been leaked by Chelsea on the way through this, especially with the rejected bids and everything else. And Man United like to, when it comes to them trying to buy a player, keep it as private as possible. Nowadays, they never used to under Woodward. That guy used to chirp like a goddamn bird. I think Man United might end up getting him potentially for the same amount of money, but with a better structure. Because I've seen journalists this summer for the first time ever tweet out information and write more things around. The bid hasn't really changed too much, just the structure. Yeah. There was a story on one of the big West Ham websites about Rice saying Arsenal did put a second bid in that nobody really reported on, but it was the same value as the first, but with a better structure. And they're the same West Ham sources that Arsenal fans are now, and along with me, are now claiming are really reliable when it comes to West Ham news. But yet, when it was that story, it was kind of brushed aside as not being important. So you've got to be open to that being the situation. But it's going to be a real interesting one. A real interesting one indeed to see what happens here with Man United. And again, I'm getting called a waffler. Nearly 325,000 people can't be wrong. That's all I'm going to say, my guys. And if you want to come on and
waffles, they love waffles.
I'm going to say this: if you want to come on and challenge me, and you beat me, in fact, what I'll do for you, because you're a Nottingham Forest fan, and I know there's not a lot of money in Nottingham, what I'll do is I'll pay you rent for a year for you, brother. Rent for a year if you can beat me in a debate. I'm only joking, you brother. Nottingham's not bad, you know. I've been Nottingham before. It's all right. It's all right.
Harry, one thing I just wanted to speak on. I was pretty shocked that, like, I like Chaz is my guy, but to say you're not worried is a weird one for me. To say like you're not worried at all, like, and it's like because you're getting better at negotiations. It's let's just say hypothetically, let's say United tomorrow, and I want them to do this. Actually, the new what's your name? Riyadh, was it? Ziyad. Sorry, man. Yeah, no. You also said you weren't worried. So you guys say you're not worried is interesting to me because we've seen it happen multiple times. And United's been one of the teams who do this often. Once we get a window in, if there's a number that we're comfortable with Brighton, if it is, let's just say 80 because you guys are doing this weird 70 plus 5, I completely agree with Andrew. It's wild that fans will be like, why do we do this, but then get mad at another team for it? If Brighton's saying we want 80 million, we all know United had 100 million plus sitting for Kane. Let's just say we on Monday bid for Caicedo and that news comes out. You have to be like you're going to lose. I think that's when you will lose. I truly believe if we lose for Caicedo, you will lose because we can pay more. We can offer more.
You can pay more
than you.
Come. The reason why I said I'm worried because you mentioned me in it because we have you guys have been renowned like Arsenal. I say this all the time. For not being the most efficient in negotiations. You can admit that yourself. You kind of stagger over the line when it comes to big profile signings, generally speaking.
Yeah, you know.
Okay. Chelsea are quite good in terms of getting things done. Look at the Enzo situation. That was a very extreme situation, and we still got over the line. So that kind of shows you that we are very competent when it comes to negotiation, even before the new owners. So when I'm saying I'm not worried, I'm more coming from the point of view of our perspective. Because I trust that our board will make the right decision at the right time and not necessarily like yield or like make a poor choice in negotiation. So I do believe you will bid. Maybe you could, but I do believe that we have like a competent enough board to supersede that and still land the player, because we don't really get dragged by the heels with a lot of transfers like that.
You
Like, how
have
often?
just sent you a
recently,
tweet,
you
Terry.
have been. You have though. Mudryk, you got dragged. You got dragged. That's a straight drag.
But Enzo, do you think we got dragged?
Yeah, unfortunately, I love great. Listen, I'm happy. Like, listen, he's an amazing player, and you did the right thing by spending money to make sure you got him, and nobody else came in. But 120 M's is insane, like it is. But you had to pay it to get him, and you got dragged. Mudryk, you got dragged. Gusto, you got dragged, in my opinion, because you.
Mudryk, we did.
What do you mean by dragged?
Like you paid over the odds. You paid up front to make sure you got these players. That's what
How is it?
120 million for
no, let me put into context because fair enough.
Well, we have some breaking news. There's some breaking news to break this up with. Fabrizio Romano has just stated that Man United and Chelsea are still in contact, and the expectation is that Mount leaves. Which, I think this is what I'm going to say. Go back to the beginning of the video, and I gave about 101 scenarios that could happen. I don't believe this. What I actually said we should do, if we're a serious club, is you take Mount and then go and try and get Caicedo anyway. That's what I want us to go and do, but I don't see it happening. But yeah, that's why we're leaving it on the table. So Fabrizio's
you said it, Terry. You said it yesterday. All we heard yesterday was it's Man United's third and final bid. They're going to walk away. And do you remember the previous bid? How quickly Chelsea rejected? How it was reported Chelsea rejected the second bid. It was like within an hour or so, right? It wasn't done that much. It was like 6 or 7 hours. But they said, "Oh, but we'll meet in person to do 58.7 or 58+7 stuff like that." Listen, I think, like I've been telling everyone, I think Chelsea wanted United to at least hit a minimum of 50. I think they wanted to hit a minimum of 50. Yeah. Well, no matter what, that was their minimum they were going to take for Mount was 50. And they tried a little bit more, but I just think now
110%. And I focused on it on the beginning of the video. Now, look, United have got an interest in Moises Caicedo.
Yeah, you should have.
Fabrizio, I've only seen a tweet with basic information. I haven't listened to his video yet. I think there is an element of truth in what Man United have done around we're not going to negotiate a higher price. We're going to leave the offer on the table and walk away. They probably are looking at Moises Caicedo, but of course they're going to brief the press more seriously about where they're now going to focus on him because you want to put pressure on your rivals. Now, like I've said at the beginning of the video, I still said that I think Chelsea are the favourites to get him, and Chelsea still massively could. However, United can still also go and get this guy, and that's what makes a scenario so beautiful. That it's all about calling each other's bluff, making sure that you don't make mistakes. Now, if Chelsea go, well, fine, United, crack on, and then tomorrow, Man United put a bid and it's accepted by Brighton, it changes that scenario suddenly, and everybody looks at it differently. And that's what I love about the transfer window. And I keep saying to people, don't panic all the time. There's a certain person I had to have a word with on Thursday because she was panicking because of a tweet from Damasio. And I'm like, it doesn't say the bid's been accepted yet. Like, yes, it says advancing and it says that they're confident, but that doesn't always mean a deal complete. So, yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. Someone says there is no tweet from Fabrizio. He said it on his YouTube channel, I believe, and some people are quoting it. So people are saying, again, I keep saying to people, stop. I'm going to swear. I'm going to be like a dad now. Stop just reading Twitter and listen to things in their entirety and go and read articles. Fuck Twitter. Twitter's great. Twitter should be an indicator. Oh, there's news. And then you go to that news outlet and you watch and you consume and you read. The amount of times I do videos and people are like, I haven't seen that on Twitter. So the other day I quoted something from Ornstein's article and somebody said, well, I haven't seen Ornstein tweet that. It can't be true. I felt so bad for that guy's parents. And imagine what your mum and dad went through to bring you into this world, bring you up, the money they've spent on you. And that's the level of your output for humanity. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
I'll tell you, Fabrizio just dropped something else as well.
About Guardiola.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
no.
Yeah, David, I messaged you directly about it.
Oh,
David. I hit you up direct. I know that
was been simping for this guy since 2020.
Well, no, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. See, I'm not spending 100 million on 2 players.
Changing the subject. So it says, Terry, why do you swear it's a family show? It's why it got beeped out. You I'm only joking. But look, for me, I want to ask you guys very briefly about the Declan Rice situation. No one on this show has really got a dog in the fight. United have put in a loose bid, it's been told, but we ain't getting him. How do you all see this playing out?
He'll be an Arsenal player by next Friday.
Oh, you're an Arsenal fan. Of course, Sam is an Arsenal fan. Yes. You think you'll be an Arsenal? Are you confident, Sam, you're going to get Declan Rice?
Yeah, I think. Listen, when Terrace put out a tweet, no English journalist backed him up on his information. I think the deal is there. I think once Havertz deal gets announced, I think things are going to move quickly. Obviously, the C interest has put a bit of pressure on us, but I think I'm not worrying at the end of the day. It's not like a Modric situation where someone's up better, so we're not willing to budge. He's Arteta's #1 target, and he's been guaranteed this player, so I'm not worried about it at all.
So we didn't. So with the Modric thing, we didn't outbid you. It was a structure of payments, as said before.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was better structure.
So we actually know how to negotiate. Yeah.
How many times do Arsenal fans do
And
this?
the
Andrew?
add-ons were more achievable. The Shakhtar president said, so you wanted to put a Ballon d'Or thing in there for Modric. That's why it's also he didn't accept. So, but what I'm saying is, Terry said before, West Ham want a better structure of payment. If Man City and Arsenal bid the same, they will choose the better structure of payments. Yeah. If City go, yeah, we'll give you 2 payments of 50 million, one now, one later, but also go, yeah, we want to pay it over 4 years. They will choose City. And I don't think the players really got a preference. Everyone's going, oh, he's a London lad. Manchester is not like enough. It's not like overseas. Do you know what I mean? It's like
but it ain't London.
And also, what about his family? He's a rich guy. He can move his family up there with him. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's
But
not
hold on,
that
with
far.
the news about Guardiola coming out, RB Leipzig is saying they want 100 M's. That's what they're saying. They're not going to get that amount, but they're going to get a decent size. So if that is their #1 target, which it feels like that's the guy they want to go for first, then I don't know. I don't know the math around FFP. There's got to be at some point.
The issue is though, if you had the addition, if you see with Vardio's deal, you can add the add-ons, like if we win the Champions League or something, because that is he could do.
Yeah,
you could do that. And they could
but
reach
also,
that deal.
City won somewhere in the region of £300 million of prize money this season.
Yeah,
and you're talking 2 deals that are going to it's only like 200 million. It's not that much money. It's just 2 players, but
we spent 600 M's in the winter.
But I would love that for City, because for years City fans have gloated. We don't really go above 50, 60 million for players. 3 £100 million players would be hilarious. Do you know what I mean? But I always remember saying to them, yeah, but when you were doing your 50, 60 million pound players, you were setting that as a precedent price. And then you had a squad, so you didn't need to do that for a few years. Now you're setting the £100 million price tag. And what will happen is in a few years, when it goes up to 110, 120, they'll say, we don't go as high as 110, 120 for players, not realizing that their spending, because of their brilliance, has moved the market. It's so funny watching that sort of thing.
He's a special player, though, is Vardio. He's a very special player.
He's certainly special. But anyone else here got a different view in terms of everyone still think Rice is going to go to Arsenal?
Can I just say one more thing, Terry? If City spend 100 million on Gvardiol, I don't see them spending 100 million euros on Rice.
Why not? You just ignored everything Terry just said. You've just ignored everything Terry just said.
No,
Terry just got your clip. Terry's got your clip now.
I just don't see it. That's my perspective. I don't see it.
Why do you not see it? I do care what you think, but I want to know why you think.
Man City have never done that before.
You don't have a reason. You don't have a reason.
They just don't do that. No, I see him being a City player. Sam Allardyce said it. Sam Allardyce said it a week ago. Yeah. He said it a week ago.
Sam, give me your reason why. Tell me why.
Terry, I just don't.
I promise, like, and even it's been a weird these past few months, and knowing out.
Terry's cruel guy. Terry, you're a cruel guy. Terry.
That's it. Like, you got remember to leave the end, because you're definitely in the MVC club. There's no doubt about it, Sam. You've got to learn to why is more important than what when you speak. It's very, very important indeed. It's very, very important indeed. That's when you get called a waffler, when you've got a good why. Because there's some people that don't have good whys. They're just the what people. And the what people are like, they're in like the 4th set in maths and that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they're the one, them dudes. Have you ever seen the film The Wedding Singer? You kids, tell me you kids have watched The Wedding Singer. With Adam Sandler.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it just for this bit. I'm gonna tell you. Them man are table 9. That's all I'm gonna say. Just go watch The Wedding Singer. In fact, just go to YouTube and put in The Wedding Singer table 9. They'll probably show you the scene. Legit. It's 100%. A lot of people ask me what the NVC is. Man, you will know what the NVC is, but we'll announce what the NVC. You don't want to be in it, really. Yeah, and Blue Wow, that is a great film indeed. Oh, Ram's backstage. Hello, Ram. Look at every time
Can I just say something, Terry? 4 years
Yeah.
ago, none of these kids had facial hair. Like 3 years ago, when everyone started talking about
No,
Don't do
no,
that. Don't do that,
When I
Cam.
first
Don't
met
do
all
that.
of you,
No,
none of you had facial hair.
Nah,
Terry
Cam,
was
don't
mocking
do
me.
that. Don't
Terry's
do
been
that.
mocking me for years. Terry's
No,
been
you don't.
mocking
You
me
don't
for
understand.
years.
This has taken me like a year,
David
and I
took
still
years.
can't even get there. I still can't get these
I'm
ones.
not gonna
It's
lie
so
to you.
annoying.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I keep a little bit of stubble. This is like 5 days of growth. It's just thick and horrible.
wish.
Yeah, this
I
is only
wish-
3.
I can't-
This is only
I
Yeah.
can't
3.
do it. I
So,
can't do
Mine's
it.
not that
I'm
bad.
struggling.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
You
struggling,
wait,
man.
kids. Trust me. That's mad. Like when you're young, I don't know if Winter Surfer and Cam were like this, but when you're young, it's like, can't wait to shave. I want to look older. For a lot of kids in my culture, it was like, so I can get served alcohol. I want the
Yeah.
sideburns, I want the facial hair. As soon as you have to start shaving every day, it's a nightmare. And that's why I kept like a very small, like I wouldn't call what I do a beard, like designer stubble. But now I do it once a week and let it grow. It's but the good thing is, I will say, it's nearly 40, nearly 40. No, like I know I've had to redistribute my hair, but no grey at nearly 40. I'm quite happy with that. Do you know what I'm saying? That's pretty decent. Pretty decent. I bet you can. You can't say that, Cam. But there we go. We have some more super chats. I didn't even see these coming in. This here says Chelsea is good for overpaying. Is what Laka, the local man,
What a
says.
lot of waffle. What a lot of waffle.
Arsenal are dragging the Rice deal so they can quietly get other deals done without other teams getting too involved. For example, Timber.
What
It's a good
spin is
theory.
that?
Think smart.
What the hell am I reading?
I mean, that's what a lot of clubs do. But okay.
Have you not seen the way these men have been talking about Havertz? They're spin kings.
Nah,
Oh,
Terry,
yeah,
you should be on.
Wait,
Yeah, Sam, give us your opinions on Kai Havertz, bro.
yeah, in the number 8 position, please.
Box to
Tell
box,
us.
yeah?
Scores more than 10, 15 goals. I will shave mine, go eat on stream.
He got 19 in.
Listen, because I don't trust him, Terry. I don't trust him.
I know
He's
you don't
acting-
trust him. Sorry, go on, David. You want to say something, mate?
No, I just find it funny because I'm the only one who backs him. I'm the only one who's backed him. Like,
I think he would do well at Arsenal. I actually think he'll do about 15
I
goals.
don't even think he'll be a bad player at Arsenal. I don't. But
Yeah,
like,
I think yeah.
it
I
depends
made a
on what they're
bet. I
playing.
made a
though.
bet with my friend today. Like he thinks Havertz is getting 10 goals and 10 assists, or
Wow.
that's one bet, and the other bet is that he gets 20 goal contributions. I'm like,
Wow.
Yeah.
wait,
20.
hang on a
You're
second.
gonna be a
And
million.
also, that's only in the Premier League. That's not all comps. That's just Premier.
Oh
Just
wow.
Prem. No, this is what I'm so confused because all of these people have been cooking him for years. I've been saying, nah, look at where he operates space, at what he does here, he does this, that, and the other. I was trying to make room for him. Everyone was rubbing me out. Now he's got
Yeah,
Arsenal.
literally.
These guys are like, oh, do you know what? Yeah, give him Arteta. He's gonna ball out. He's gonna gain muscle. He's gonna do this. I'm just thinking, no, all of you, right? The only thing you guys can say is it's a bad signing. I'm the only one who can say anything about it. I'm the only one. Cam, imagine if he was to sign for United, imagine you were like, oh, he's going to be a good player. I'd just be like, what are you talking about?
I'd never be able to show my face again.
It would make sense. It would make sense.
I hear you on that, David. This next super chat says, "Oh wow, United's negotiation team versus Chelsea's negotiation team. It's like I'm fighting Shark Clown. United negotiating, can't pull shit, sack them all." Is what Jay says. Thank you, Jay. After initial hype, more I think about it, the more it's just posturing from us, and that will end up with Mount. As long as we get Onana, I'm happy. Yeah, I hear you on that, my friend. I do hear you on that one. Thank you, Hamid. You didn't say anything, but thank you for the super chat and donation. Chelsea seem way too calm in the Caicedo situation. Either something happened behind the scenes that assures the deal. If not, Chelsea will lose him. Well, Fabrizio was just also said in his YouTube video that Man United looking at Rice is old, which again, we said earlier on in the video that the likes of Fabrizio spoke regularly about us talking about him. So yeah, very intriguing indeed. Remember when David said who?
Mitrovic.
I said
Mitrovic.
I said
Mitrovic and
Mitrovic would
outscore Jesus.
outscore Jesus. I
Did
said
he?
it with my chest.
Jesus
He
was
did.
injured for 4
He
months.
did, I think.
Hey, Mitrovic missed 2 months through
He had
punching a ref.
he had
What are we
like a
doing?
6-game
What
suspension.
are we doing? What are we doing here? No, I'm not having
Look,
this.
Jesus
I
is
said
it.
it.
Jesus
I
was
said it.
injured for
This
4 months.
Jesus
wasn't he?
guy can't.
No, not 4 months,
goals
Andrew. It
consistently.
was like a
Three.
month or
He
so.
can't score
7
goals
months.
consistently. I said it,
3
man.
months. Yeah.
3
Like,
months.
yeah.
It was
Jesus was injured for a while.
about 3 months. Well,
I stand on it. I
about
stand
2
on it.
weeks of it was the World Cup, but yeah, most of it was like February, March. He came back.
March.
No, your friend is mental. 20 GA crazy. I do think he'll be better than most people think. Is what Tevin says here. Yeah, I
can't
think.
wait to collect. I can't wait to collect
Arsenal-
from Jets. Let me say that right
Arsenal
now.
fans are just a rare
I'm
breed,
gonna come to
man.
the UK and collect.
Repeat
Too.
of what, man? Give me a point.
I mean, like, it's
Matt-
the
Go
things
on,
I've been the things I've been hearing from a lot of Arsenal fans, especially a gal had to drop your name
Go
out
on,
because
mention what
I've
he
been
said.
hearing it from you. But literally,
What's the
Kai
gal?
Havertz to play.
Tell us.
Havertz said Havertz would be playing in that number 8 position. I'm like, that copium must be good, man. It must be good copium because you're coming out with absolute nonsense right now. Like the guy has never ever played centre mid in his life, and then they come out with some random games that he's played when he was about 17 or 16 when he was playing as a 8 next to a DM. Like it's like in Lars Bender. You know, I
All the
don't know.
comps are from Bayern Leverkusen. Have you noticed that? All the
Oh,
comps are
it's
from Bayern
literally
Leverkusen.
18 out of a
Yeah, because
possible
can't measure
300 and
player at
something
that time at
games.
Chelsea.
And
It was
also
a
the
disaster.
ones at Chelsea, I've noticed a few of them, they're slowed down to make him look better as well. So they're like, in slow motion and some of them.
No,
It's
don't
just
forget
to
you
make
see
him
a
look
final
better.
goal though. Don't
That's
forget
mad.
the final.
That is mad. This super chat here says, I hope we sell Balogun because I don't want the United States men's team bandwagon jumping on Arsenal. You see how the whole notion of South Korea supports Tottenham because of Son.
Why would you not want more?
I don't know where you're. I
in.
don't know where you're from, bro. But like, you're paying in US dollars, so there's a good chance. There's a good chance that you're a Yank. You know what I mean? You're a little septic tank.
Could be
We have a
Canadian.
good amount of Yanks in
No,
Arsenal.
No, Canadian, it shows up different.
It would
It's
say
it's
CA.
CA. It says CA.
CA.
Oh, okay.
You do,
Yeah,
Ram, you're at uni. You do know Canada and America are not the same country, right, bro?
I know.
Then why would they have?
It's just I thought it would just show up as dollars in general. I don't
Well,
know
the thing is, you're not. Listen,
I-
we do this. It's not like in the UK where you see the pound and the euro is different. We do
Euro,
use the
innit?
same
Yeah.
dollar symbol, but when you super chat in for Canadian
That-
because
that
our
I
dollar
don't know.
shit, it gives a
Yeah.
CA.
Terry,
Yeah.
apparently on Fabrizio's last YouTube video, he like reiterated the whole Chelsea links to Caicedo again, like the same
Hang
kind
on.
of like thing. Like,
110%.
same thing basically.
As I said at the top of my video, I didn't play down Chelsea like, that's it. They're going to be dead in the water. There's a chance that everything that the Times have said tonight comes to fruition. There's no doubt. But I said to Man United fans, don't start writing Chelsea off and acting like this is over and it's done. Slow down, keep your powder dry and see what happens.
Terry, sorry, to go back to that last super chat.
Yep.
If they actually look at how much Son brings into Spurs as a commercial, he is the only player when you go to South Korea, his face is everywhere. He brings money into. That's why they turned down the reported 60 million from Saudi this summer. He brings in revenue by himself. That's what he brings in. So if Balogun hits off for Arsenal, imagine the commerciality you get from the US from him.
No,
It
but
would
we
be
see he's on one
massive.
bandwagon fans. That's what he's trying to say.
Crazy. Mitro and Jesus both have the same goal contributions, though, Dave.
No, I literally just said Mitrovic would score more goals. That was
He
it.
did say that. Yeah.
Tevin here says playing the 8 isn't inconceivable. However, Mikel would have to change the structure at the back, which he might be doing with new signings and retaining Tierney, but we won't play. Sorry, but he won't play exactly like Xhaka.
Aren't Arsenal selling Tierney? Isn't he?
No, he's saying.
They're trying to, I think. They're trying to, yeah.
Who got caught out by the fake account that said that Holding signed a new deal? I got caught out by that. I was like, I needed a tweet about it. If you're choosing to listen to a gal, I pray for you.
I listened to
Leave
a
a gal
guy
alone,
alone,
man.
just to show how foolish he is. You listen to him, man. It is what it is.
There we go. Look, boys, I want to thank you all for coming on Saturday evening. Viewers, thank you much. We're back tomorrow with more content for you. Hit like buttons, subscribe. Make sure you're got the bell notification button turned on as well. Very, very important indeed. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again.